Caitlin Clark-Diana Taurasi media feud lures Sue Bird to point out NBA-WNBA's troubling gap. What happens when a consensus GOAT goes up against one of the most talented rookies a sport has ever seen? Well, luckily for Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark, basketball is not an individual game. Their highly anticipated first meeting did go the Indiana Fever's way, and it ignited a heated debate over the two players online. In the aftermath, Taurasi's former UConn teammate Sue Bird believes the WNBA should learn a thing or two from how the NBA handles feuds. It all started when Taurasi and Bird sat down for an interview with Scott Van Pelt in April, where he asked the Mercury star for his opinion on the 2024 W draft class. All Taurasi said was that it might be a difficult transition from college basketball to the pro leagues, and discussing how the two professional basketball leagues deal with it differently. Bird said on her A Touch More podcast, "When they NBA players do something, it's not. The entire league hates the player that they happen to have a thing with. I don't mean to split hairs here, but it is just another moment where things get taken to social media, and they just grow and people spew, and it turns into something that you can't even recognize within 24 hours, Bird said. Taurasi did not refer to CC in particular, but her "reality is coming" comment took on a life of its own. Scott Van Pelt did ask Diana a question about rookies. Now, was Dee talking about Caitlin or not? You have to ask her, the retired pro continued. But she also pointed out how Diana has been so complimentary of Caitlin. Then again, she highlighted how people have been negative to some of these rookies, right? From a basketball standpoint. They have been critical, from a basketball standpoint. And yet those statements have been blanket statements on how an entire group of people feel. That is what's really troubling for me, Bird said. Although Caitlin Clark has been hailed as a future WGOAT, Diana Taurasi already is one for many. In the conversation of whether the media attention on CC is ignoring the veterans, parts of the fan base have had extreme reactions. Bird uses an example to make her point. What you see in men's sports at times, and I'll use examples, like Dillon Brooks and Draymond Green. It's not to call them out in any specific way, other than they've had moments with players. Brooks and Draymond have been in conversations, not only for the feud between them, but also with other NBA stars. Both have clearly stated their dislike of each other, and yet, as Sue Bird points out, the fan base doesn't turn against them, or any other players they might be feuding with. Then why, she asks, is such the case in the W? When the Fever defeated the Mercury in their first meeting of the season, even the team's social media couldn't help but take a jab at Taurasi, it seemed. When Caitlin Clark gave a reality check to Diana Taurasi, Caitlin Clark has been put in the same sentences as basketball greats, and the conversation also includes Diana Taurasi. The Mercury veteran has praised CC for her efforts and passion since and before her WNBA career began. And yet, some can't forget her original comments. Reality is coming. There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it. You see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side. You look superhuman playing 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that've been playing professional basketball for a long time. Of course, by then, Caitlin Clark had become the generational talent in everyone's eyes, breaking records left and right. However, the 46 broken records were not enough to impress the 6x Olympic gold medalist, as she has seen many come and go through the W in her 20 years as a professional basketball player. Not saying that it's not going to translate, because when you're great at what you do, you're just going to get better. But there is going to be a transition period where you're just going to have to give yourself some grace as a rookie, Taurasi continued. She later explained her comments when fans thought she was out against the Des Moines-born, but the Mercury player stood firm in her response because she didn't believe she had said anything wrong, especially because she has seen this happen in the last 2 decades. Just like how there's a transition period for anyone moving from one amateur to professional, The same goes for basketball. Per Taurasi, it's been the same for every rookie in sports. Before the August matchup, the Phoenix Mercury had posted a TikTok of a fan asking, "Who is Caitlin? I'm here for Taurasi." In that game, the Fever won and completed a sweep of the Mercury, having the last laugh. But in July, when Indiana won their first matchup, the team's X account posted a picture of the scoreline with a two-word caption, "Reality check."